Winning at horse racing with correlation analysis. We're going to look at the correlation of weight and time. What is correlation? Correlation refers to the relationship or the association between at least two variables. In the context of horse racing, we focus on the correlation between weight and time. Why is correlation important to horse racing? Firstly, a horse never runs a race with the same weight each time it races. Secondly, even when running the same distance, a horse is very unlikely to finish that race at the same time as a previous race. Correlation, therefore, has the statistical ability to determine the relationship between a horse's weight and time over a specific distance. Determining the relationship between weight and distance is critical for predicting which horse will prevail in a competitive race. With correlation analysis, there are two important factors. One is the weight and the other is the time. The weight refers to the weight that a horse is required to carry when it runs a race, and the time refers to the finishing time that a horse has run in a race over a certain distance. To put this in context, if the weight and time are considered the most important factors, then it implies that we are looking at a previous race that a horse has already run. But to compare apples with apples, we have to correlate or compare the weight and time over a specific distance, for example, over 1,000 meters or over 1,600 meters. The importance of the distance is that you cannot compare a time with a 1,000 meters with a time of a 1/6. How to apply the correlation of weight and time? There are basically three steps. Step 1. Look for the weight and time of a previous race, which you'll normally find in a race book. Step 2. Apply the correlation of weight and time. And thirdly, calculate the finishing positions based on the correlation of weight and time. These three steps will be shown to you now. How do we correlate weight and time? Firstly, we need to have a look at the form record of each horse that will be running the race. As you would see on this form record, we have two arrows. The red arrow indicates the weight that the horse has previously run, and the time is indicated with the green arrow where the horse has finished the race. Also note some other important factors that may be needed, such as the date, the course, and the distance. Note they're indicated by yellow stars. How to calculate the correlation of weight and time. This is a simplified example of three horses that have run a previous race. Horse number 1, number 2, and number 3. Note that horse number 1 carried a weight of 60 kgs and finished in a time of 56 seconds. Horse number 2 carried a weight of 59 kgs and finished the race in a time of 57 seconds. While horse number 3, which carried a weight of 58 kgs, completed the race in a time of 58 seconds. Step number 2. In step number 2, we introduce weight rank and time rank. On the left side of the table in step 2, you will notice that horse number 1 had a weight rank of 3 because he carried the heaviest weight of 60, while horse number 2 had a weight rank of 2 because it carried the second highest weight of 59 kgs. Horse number 3, which had a weight of 58, weight rank of 1. If we then move to time rank, which is the right side of the table, you will note that horse number 1, which finished in a time of 56 seconds, had a time rank of 1. Horse number 2, which had a time of 57 seconds, had a time rank of 2. While horse number 3, which finished in a time of 58 seconds, had a time rank of 3. Step number 3, calculating the finishing positions. Note that the time rank minus the weight rank will give us a calculation. In other words, horse number 1 had a time rank of 1, and horse number 1 had a weight rank of 3. Therefore, in order to calculate the finishing position of horse number 1, we will take the time rank of 1 minus the weight rank of 3, which gives us minus 2. Horse number 2 had a time rank of 2 and a weight rank of 2. Therefore, 2 minus 2 gives us 0. Horse number 3, which had a time rank of 3 and a weight rank of 1, implies that 3 minus 1 is 2, positive 2. Therefore, based on the answer or the calculation, we find that the horse with the lowest value is expected to finish in the fastest time. Therefore, horse number 1 with a calculation of minus 2 is expected to finish in first position, whereas horse number 2 with 0 answer is expected to finish in second position, and horse number 3 that has a positive 2 answer will finish third, as it has the highest positive value, which means that it will finish last of the 3 horses. This is an actual example of applying the correlation of weight and time to horse racing. Note to the left is an actual winning ticket, a winning trifecta, straight line trifecta. The race is race 7 in Sha Tin, Hong Kong, and it was taken on the 19th of January 2020. Note that the horses taken for this trifecta was 1, 7 and 2. Note to the right there is the results of this particular race, and the results was as the winning ticket notes. Horse number 1 came first, horse number 7 came second, and horse number 2 came third, as predicted in this winning trifecta. Note that the trifecta was taken as a result of the correlation of weight and time. This is an actual example of how to apply the correlation of weight and time and actually win. If you found any merit in this video, do like us and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future updates on the application of CET analysis to horse racing. Also check some of our related videos, including identifying outsiders in horse racing. The book Winning at Horse Racing with CET Analysis is also available on Amazon.com.